I think crows are going to be a recurring theme because I always film at sunset. So today I am at Chinatown, as you can see if you are new here. But other than unboxing videos, I would like to dive deeper into more philosophical questions. So today, I keep thinking, how am I supposed to open up this philosophical topic with all of you? Then I realized, what's there to talk about other than life? And to start off and to explain how I look at things or my opinions in the first place, I think we'll have to look at what I think about life. So I've had this chat with a few of my friends before, but if you're new here or we haven't had a personal chat before, you might not have this conversation with me. So here goes. Okay, have you ever wondered, like, how do you confirm that you exist? Okay. Um, it's easy to say because I see what I see, I feel what I feel, and I experience what I experience. That I have a consciousness. That's why I exist. But um, I think somewhere down JC route or uni route, I started to question like, yeah, how do I confirm that I exist? Okay, okay, you can. I think is it Zhuangzi? I forget the ancient Chinese guy. Yeah, so I did a quick fact check. So it is indeed Zhuangzi. So what he did was, I think he was dreaming. I can't really fact check this. Just listen, okay? Um, he was dreaming, and then he was a man as himself, and then suddenly he was a butterfly. And then he couldn't tell the difference between him dreaming versus him being awake. And if you think about it, there's no truly a way to 判断 or to know for sure that you exist and you are awake, or your final form that you think you are is your actual current form. So if you think about it, actually there's no way to, okay, if you have consciousness, you at least can most likely ascertain that you exist. But what about other people? You see, what you experience in this life, what your senses are, your insights are, your beliefs, everything is based on you understanding and experience this world through your senses, right? And your senses is based on like inputs to your brain, right? Then, um, how do you know what you feel is actually what it is? Like seeing is believing, but what if what you see is an optical illusion? And what if all that you experience and interact with other people are just figments of your own imagination? Um, at first I didn't know what theory is this, but my friend has enlightened me, kindly enlightened me, and said that there's something called a simulation theory, in such that you might this entire life might be a simulation, which is why I always 我的口头禅就是whatever life is a simulation. It could be a simulation for all that you know. Even if it isn't, you can only confirm that probably a consciousness, maybe your brain is the only thing that exists, and everything else is a figment of that, you know. So let's try to unpack that and try to see how I look at life. I think whether or not you believe in simulation theory or you believe whether or not you exist, I think the ultimate point I'm trying to say is that you can't really confirm that other people exist. But you can confirm that you do exist in some form or another, whether it's a human form, whether it's just a consciousness, it doesn't matter, you exist, but other people might not. Which is why once you understand this and once you internalize this, everything pales in comparison. Like everything don't matter that much anymore. Because ultimately what you also need to realize that what you can control is only you yourself. Like your feelings are what you can control, emotions are what you can control, your expectations, your perspectives, all these are all within your control, but you can never control other people. Whether or not other people exist doesn't matter, but you can't control others. Even if they are a figment of your imagination, they are a figment of your own consciousness, you see. And if other people, not saying don't matter, but if other people don't, you can't even confirm that they exist. All that matters now is how you live your life and how you value yourself and how you 看待这个世界 or yeah, how you see this life as yours. Because then anything and everything can change, right? There's nothing stopping you from changing, or there's nothing yeah, there's nothing stopping you if you realize other people might not exist, and everything in your life is dependent on yourself. I think a lot of my perspective after I've realized this is that I don't take things so personally anymore. I used to, you know, be very unhappy person. I used to be very unhappy and like, why me? Why is it me? How come this is happening to me? It's always me, and things happening to me. But I've never actually thought in a sense that I'm letting it happen. I'm allowing myself to be in this kind of situations that these so-called bad things happen. And I always see things as black and white in the past. Because if everything is against me, then it's me against the world and everything is just bad, you know. But after I realized this, there's no everything becomes a little bit more grey. Like there's no real um bad experience. There's no real positive ones if in fact. There is no real 他在针对我. It's no personal. And even if I think it could be personal, I don't think it matters because they might not exist, but I do. So I am the one in control of my own decisions, my own life, and how I see things, right? That is also when I started being less conscious of others, right? I'm more conscious in tune in with myself instead. It's not to say that okay, on certain degree, to a certain extent, I don't really care or mind other people as much because like I said, they might not exist. Right. And in turn I get to know myself more much better because now I realize or then I realize everything I ever felt, every experience, even my thoughts are my own and I can not say easily, but once you see it happening, once you experience it and 看透 it's more of once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then you realize all that matters in life is yourself. In a sense, when I have this conversation with my friends, a lot of them that say like, then what's the point in life? What's there's no meaning in life if ultimately I might not exist also, right? But I think that's the whole point, right? To not know whether you exist, but somehow you're given this consciousness and somehow you have to make do with it, do whatever you want with it. And in the end it will end, right? Whether or not there is afterlife, whether or not there isn't, doesn't matter. But what you have now is what you have now, and that's the whole reason why you gotta live like it's a bit YOLO in a sense. I don't know whether it's a futuristic way of thinking, but if you think about it, if life is really a simulation, then anytime it could end. Like I don't know, when I think about this, I always think that if I walk out of this place with no prior plans, is that free will? I don't know. But if we just step out, life could just end, you know. And life happens very what do you call it? You can't really plan life. You don't know what will happen next second. I always think that I could die at any moment, like that something could just fall on me and I'm dead. You know, there is no certainty, but the only certainty is death, right? And when it happens, it's uncertain. How it happens is also uncertain. And I always think like I just need to live life to the fullest. Doesn't have to be maximum effort. It just have to be contentment, living life consciously up to the moment whenever the current moment is. It's like if you die today, are you okay with it? And if not, why aren't you? You know, because life, you have to understand life can end anytime. And if you're not okay with it, then something must be a little bit wrong, or there must be some dissatisfaction or something that you're not contented with life. When I realized that, I see that why think so much and why dwell so much on things that you can't control. Because if some things are just out of your control, and if some things you can't change, you can't make people change, you can't directly influence other people to do as you like, and other people might not exist, then why dwell on it, you know? So I learned to in a sense control what I can and don't control what I can't. And what I can't is just I can't do it. You know, it's also how I see per se failures. That's why I say there's no real bad experience or inherently negative experience, because then you realize everything is just a chance or experience to go through. And I always think there's no such thing as real failure. It's just not success. How I view failure is when something don't go my way. I don't just think like, oh my gosh, I've done better. Oh my god, this life is against me. There's no fairness, there's no justice. I don't think that way. I just think, I guess shit happens, or more so like I try my best to do the easy. If I do something, that means I want to do it, and if I want to do it, I will do it to my almost utmost ability, right, and my effort, right. But if things somehow just don't go my way, there's no way for me to control the uncontrollable. I only can control myself, and I can control my effort, and I control my 精力, my energy onto it. But if things just don't go my way, it could be luck, it could be the timing, it could be so many variables that I can't control. And if I can't control it, then and it ends up being a failure, then it is what it is. When that happens, I just say, I guess I try my best. What else can I do? And I just move on. I rarely dwell on things that don't go my way, and I just try to see the positive in everything. I mean, even if things don't go your way, you just say, I guess I couldn't do it this way. What about the other way? Like there's so many sides to one coin. It's not just two sides. What about the circumference? Have you thought about it? What I'm trying to say is that we're all trying quite hard in this life, and sometimes things might not go your way or how you expect it to be. But maybe, I don't know whether you believe in God, but I believe in divine power. But maybe what you plan is not the best route for you. And if you can see that there is always good coming your way, whether or not you think it's good in the first place, then you might see things a little bit differently, a little bit more lightly. I always like to go those very vast area like the sea, the beach, or like, just to feel how small you are and how insignificant you are. That everything just will be okay in the grand scheme of things, right? I think it's very easy to get caught up in your daily life. I mean, we all do, right? Especially when you're younger. But when you have experience, like I have experienced 2 decades, right? But two and a half, I guess. But if once you've experienced that amount of time, you realize that those instances where you felt like life was too overwhelming, life was very challenging, everything was not going your way. Last time maybe your current exam, maybe one chemistry exam was your everything. You have to pass it, or your PSA, you have to pass it, you have to go flying colors. There's so much stress on you, but when you realize it, you look back and you look back at your score now. Does it matter? Of course, it matters at that time, that point in time, because it matters where you go in secondary school, correct? And then and there it can affect which JC or poly you go and your further education from there on and your career of choice, everything. Yes. But when you realize that, okay, even if you become the greatest, like maybe you become Lee Kuan Yew, yes, you are the founder of Singapore, you made a great impact, yes, people are going to make, like, history is going to, like, have you written in it, you're going to have books written about you, you're going to have, like, monuments, memorials for you, yes. But in 100 years' time, or a few more 100 years' time, maybe when humans go extinct, who will be there to read those books? Who will be there to remember you? And if Earth don't exist anymore, when Earth don't exist anymore, what difference do you make? Now, I'm saying this, not saying that you don't make an impact. Okay, we all do, but it's only in our own lives. You make an impact in your own life because you don't really impact others the sense you think it is. Because if the simulation theory works and you really you can't confirm that other people exist, then your impact is to you yourself alone, you yourself alone only. Then you will realize that you have a lot of responsibility over your own life and how your life pans out, right? I think my ultimate point is that I still try my best up to what I deem fit, because sometimes you have to work out what is the best equation for you, how much effort versus how tired you want to be. I think what I'm trying to say is to try to 抓个平衡感 get the balance, right? Try to not see everything as critical, not to try to see 看淡一切 but still try your best or to the level that you deem fit, right? I always just try, and if it doesn't work out, I say, I tried. But did I try my best? That's up to me, right? And I don't need to try my best in everything, I think. So long as I'm satisfactory, 只要我满意，只要我觉得问心无愧，我就觉得可以了。Not everything you have to give it your best shot, and not everything you have to see it so critically, like life and death, right? Some things can let go, some things you might not want to let go. Just choose the battle you want to fight. You don't have to fight every single battle, and not every battle will be critical.